Welcome back, fellow readers. This is Suave, and today I'm going to finally start my long-awaited journey into Eden Zero. Now, Eden Zero is a title that has already kind of won me over a long time ago because I am a huge fan of Hiro Mashima. I've been following his work for a long time. Let me show you real quick. Rave Master, I read it all digitally, and I even bought the one omnibus copy that Kodansha sells. Fairy Tail, I think like most of you, I watched the anime, and at some point the anime kind of lost me. So I'm trying to get into these manga box sets and trying to catch up in the manga, because I never read the manga in the beginning. So I'm going to see what that's all about, what it looks like in the manga. And then I have these old ones right here, Monster Hunter Orage, printed in English, supervised by Capcom, and written by Hiro Mashima. These things are incredibly hard to look for. I mean, at the time when I was buying these, they were very hard to look for. I was very lucky to get these, and I don't even want to know what it's like to try to get these nowadays. So when it comes to Eden Zero, I knew that this series was going to be a little bit special because I knew it was going to go into sci-fi and space, and I love that sort of stuff. And I knew he was going to do something special with it. So when the first volume actually came out, I actually got the special edition Volume 1 Takoban, which comes with a few little extra specials. I'll show you what they look like right now. It's just these little postcards. So these little postcards is like the splash page you get in Volume 1. You can see it in the back. It has like this space to put like the info, the stamps, all that good stuff. The second one is a picture of Shiki, Rebecca, Happy. They're doing a little pose there. And you can put like your little stamp here where Happy's telling you to put it. It's pretty funny. You have what I now know is Mother. At the time I didn't know what her name was, but this one looked pretty cool. This one was actually really cool because Shiki is there and you can see his little gravitational color being green. And you know, when this trailer came out, people were like, oh, it's green. And it's like, yeah, I already knew it was going to be green because we already saw this. If you knew this, you knew this. And the last one being Rebecca. So, you know, Rebecca's looking really good with her cat ears, her outfit. You got Happy here. He's all cute with his little smartphone. And there's actually one more special thing that I didn't know was going to come with it. There's this thing called the Special Edition booklet. And it comes with like a little mini story. I don't know if this story is supposed to appear later on in the volumes or not. But, you know, it has Rebecca here. And I mean, you know why we're reading this story for, right? You know what Mashima's all about. So you got this cool little art here. Plenty of plot with Rebecca. And then in the back, I believe you also have some cool little concept drawings that he had early on for some of the characters, Shiki and I believe Rebecca. You get some mechs near the end too. So why now? Why did I wait so long to start Eden Zero when I knew that this series was going to be something special? And clearly I'm obsessed with this dude's work. And I think it has something to do with me just wanting to not have that like long waiting period for the next volume. I just want to be able to, you know, read it, enjoy it, then maybe a week later read the second volume and then enjoy it. And now, I think now's the time to do it because we have these trailers coming out. The anime is about to come later this year. And I think there's about 8 or 9 volumes in English. I have to double check on that. But I mean, I've been buying them digitally. I just got them all in print. And so now I think is finally a time where I can safely just go into the series and just enjoy it. And I'm kind of glad I waited this long to start this series because the moment this video gets posted, it'll be exactly 1 month since I started this YouTube channel. And I had no idea where I was going to go with this channel at first, and I really love the momentum that we've been having. I had no idea that I was going to get this many subscribers this fast, and I'm glad that I get to put out these videos when I first get into Eden Zero so you can all see my experience and we get to share these stories together. Now, if you're looking for a channel that's going to be covering Eden Zero, then look no further. Hit that subscribe button because we're going to be covering a lot of Eden Zero, I promise you. And we're not going to beat around the bush when it comes to this series and this channel. We are going to go straight into spoiler discussions. And we're going to be looking at all the beautiful manga pages that I love. We're going to be trying to find some Easter eggs. And we're just going to have a lot of fun. And I really want to get started with this. So without further ado, let's begin. So right off the bat, we get these color pages with a young looking Shiki. And it looks like we have this skull looking dude and some other robot. And immediately Hiro Mashima introduces us to his usual theme of friendship and people having good hearts. And you know, people kind of may be thinking that you're kind of sick of this by now, but you got to remember this guy Mashima, he's always catering to a young audience, so that's always going to be his target audience, and it's always going to be a new generation of young people that he's trying to reach out for. And you know, I'm here for that. I respect it. So then we get into chapter 1, Into the Sky Where Cherry Blossoms Flutter, and here we get this beautiful double splash page full of color, all these characters who have no idea who these people are. The only two characters I recognize are Shiki and Rebecca, and that's only because I follow Mashima, I follow a bunch of other people who love his work, and they're always reposting pictures of Shiki and Rebecca, so those are the only two names I recognize. And obviously we have Happy down here in the bottom right from Fairy Tail. He's always fun. But for me, Plu right there in the bottom left, he's always been the OG ever since Rave Master for me. So, you know, Happy's fine and all, but for me, Plu has always been there. He's always the funniest one to me, even though he can't talk. He has this little cool little outfit, and he has like a little dish on his head. I always crack open whenever I see Plu, man. I can't help but smile when I see him. So right as we get into the chapter, we get introduced to Rebecca, and Rebecca, we learned that she's actually a content creator. She's trying to up her subscriber count. And Happy cracks a little joke at her saying, yeah, you even made your skirt a little shorter. You're very serious about it today. And so, you know, we get to see Grand Bell Kingdom with all these robots. And, you know, she has her little cat ears. She's having a lot of fun. And then she goes on this little adventure. She goes to fight this big ass cat creature. I can't stand how this thing looks. It looks so ridiculous. But, you know, this is Mashima style. So this is what we're all here for. And then, you know, immediately we get introduced to Shiki. Now, Shiki is our other main character. And this dude looks so bad. I love his design. I mean, bad in a good way. His design looks so good. The hairstyle and everything. I'm here for it. I dig it. Now, this is a scene that I really like because we saw it as a focus in the TV trailer. It's the moment where Shiki and Rebecca, you know, Shiki's introducing herself to him. And Mashima sort of takes out the scenery. He takes out all the trees in the background. And you're focusing on these two characters, and you know he's trying to introduce himself, wants to be friends, and Rebecca just knocks the shit out of him and starts running away. And eventually Shiki and Rebecca go back into town. You know, Shiki is very familiar with this place. He's friends with all these robots. Rebecca is put into this beautiful outfit. You know, Mashima, he knows how to draw these wonderful outfits on his female characters. And then we get introduced to this big bad dude, this robot with all these things connected into him. It looks like he's being recharged. And it just looks great. This is the stuff that I'm here for. So we get back to our two main characters, and they're having a lot of fun. And this is where Shiki passes out, and Rebecca decides to give him a haircut. So here's where we get the iconic look for Shiki. This is the look that we're going to be going for moving forward. No more messy Gajio looking hair. Now we got clean ass looking Shiki. So eventually they go to sleep, and it turns out these robots had no good intentions. So they have Rebecca tied up. She's barefoot. They're about to burn them alive. Happy's tied up too. He's sleeping. He's not even responding to Rebecca. So Shiki comes in. He's very concerned about Rebecca. And then here comes this big brawlic robot looking dude. He looks like he's ready to throw down. And then I really want to focus on this scene with Rebecca. You can really see the emotion that's on her. I love the way that the emotion's being conveyed in this shot here. And here's where Shiki really gets to throw down. You see these lines on his hand going down his wrist. I mean, now we know that it's called ether gear. At first I didn't know what this was. It looked like some sort of power that he's got going on. And then I love this shot here, this full face shot where you get Shiki. He looks pissed. He's angry. You can see the details on his head. The details on his hair too, and you know, the lines coming through everywhere. I love this shot right here personally, and I can't wait to see what this scene looks like in the anime, this gravity fist attack, because you know it looks really awesome here in the manga, but I really want to see what it looks like from beginning to end, this fluid animation. And you know, this next scene is gonna look good in the anime too, because you know there's gonna be all this floating debris. Shiki's using his gravity to keep everything still. So I really can't wait to see that scenery, to see what it looks like in the anime. You know what we're here for, folks. And this is where things get really good, because Rebecca's like, we gotta get out of here. And Shiki's like, okay, I'll follow you. And then they go into her little ship, and he thinks it's just like some little submarine ship or some little ship that's gonna go around somewhere. No, we're going to space. And this is where I get excited. This is where Shiki gets excited, because we are now in outer space and we're seeing all these beautiful stars and planets, and you know, you see this big ass dragon. I don't even know what this dragon is doing out here, but it just looks really cool. And it turns out that these robots were actually doing this for a reason. They didn't have this virus after all. They were just trying to do this as a ruse in order to get Shiki off this planet so that Shiki can go visit other places and meet other people, not just being with robots. So now we move to chapter 2, a girl and her blue cat, and immediately we see this awesome double spread of Mother. She's there just hanging out in the middle of space, this scout is coming up to her saying this dude is on the move, obviously referring to Shiki. And Mother's like, yeah, I know, we're gonna see what he's up to, and it's up to him to see where this all plays out. And I'm guessing Mother is this all-seeing cosmic being. I don't really know a whole lot about her, especially after this first volume. We don't get too much info on her. So now Shiki and Rebecca are in Blue Garden, and Rebecca's trying to show him where to get his license so he can be an adventurer and be able to travel wherever he wants. And the only problem is that Happy happens to get captured by some random thug. And here comes Shiki running along the streets and running along the buildings like some Assassin's Creed character. He's ready to throw down on these guys because he knows that Happy makes Rebecca happy. And, you know, he considers Happy a friend at this point. And he's not going to let some thug just steal Happy out of nowhere. And the cool part about this one is that, you know, Mashima likes to put little references, little Easter eggs every now and then. And when Shiki's running around this town, I can't identify every single little reference. I'm sure there's a lot that I'm not seeing. But there's one that I know for sure because I'm a comic fan. There's Cyclops right there. You know, he has the visors, he has the suit and everything. And, you know, in the comics, Wolverine always calls him Slim. That's his nickname. And so when Shiki runs past him, he's like, oh, you're kind of skinny. So I thought that was a cool little reference we have there for Cyclops from the X-Men. And, you know, if you know any other references around here, let me know down in the comments because I'd love to know what all these characters are, if they are references to any other type of series. So Shiki and Rebecca, they catch up to Happy and, you know, they're able to get Happy back. Rebecca's trying to, you know, dodge these bullets from this dude with the machine gun. They're in a fight. Shiki's holding his own. And they're in the middle of this. Rebecca's sort of reminiscing about how her and Happy met because, you know, she doesn't want to lose Happy. And I didn't really expect this particular scene to happen. I mean, I knew that Eden Zero was going to be having a little bit more of a darker tone, kind of like what Rave Master had. So that's what kind of got me excited about this series. But I had no idea that Happy was going to be in such a traumatic scene where, you know, he's just this regular cat creature and he gets involved in this freak accident. There's blood everywhere. I did not picture Mashima drawing Happy like that. And then we find out that, you know, she brought Happy over to get fixed. And what that meant was that now Happy is a machine, or I don't know if he's a cyborg or if he's just a machine with Happy's memories and thoughts built inside of him. But regardless, we see Happy is now this robot and he turns into these guns that Rebecca uses, and I am all for this. I mean, I was a fan of Ellie and Rave Master when she was using her Tonfa blasters, but now here's Rebecca with these big ass pistols, and she's just gonna go ham on these fools right now. And you see this in Mashima's previous works with his other female protagonists, where you have Ellie and you have Lucy. They both have their moments where they just go batshit crazy, and, you know, they're beating up all these mobs. And you get that here where Rebecca, she has that crazy face going on. She's shooting up all these dudes. But the difference with Rebecca is what makes it really special. When you look at this scene in particular, she's shooting up these dudes, but she's in mid-air. She's about to make this perfect landing. And you can see the definition in those legs. You know that this girl is meant to jump around and just shoot people. And I am all for this. I am happy to see that Rebecca really has more of an athletic feel, whereas the other two didn't really have that so much. But I'm really looking forward to seeing how Rebecca does in more fight scenes in the future. This has me really excited for Eden Zero personally. So they win the battle, they finally make it to the Adventurers Guild, and then at the end of the chapter we get to see Urza Scarlet, Elsie Crimson, and she is a space pirate in this series. And, you know, say what you will about you rehashing old character models, you know, it's not the first time that Mashima has done this. If you read Rave Master and you read Fairy Tail, you know all about Siegfried and Jalal. And personally, I think Siegfried has, you know, Jalal has nothing on Siegfried. But, you know, this is not the first time he's going to do this. I'm actually wondering, you know, I haven't seen any images of Siegfried Jalal character model in here. So I'm wondering if he's going to slip in somehow. And if I'm going to guess at it, I'm going to take a wild guess and I'm going to say he's that dude in that skull armor. I'm probably going to be completely wrong about that, but I'm going to make that call right now. And so here we have Elsie Crimson, the space pirate. She's, for some reason, looking for Shiki. So they're on the move to Blue Garden. And so we're going to see how these characters interact hopefully pretty soon. Chapter 3, Adventurers. So here is where we see Rebecca taking Shiki finally in the Adventurers Guild. He's trying to get his license. And here we run into a arch nemesis of Rebecca known as Lobelia. And Lobelia is looking like a snack in that outfit. You know, now that I'm looking at the character model more, I'm actually recognizing that the little hair bob that she has on the side is actually not connected to her head. It's actually like some artificial extension that floats along her head while it floats against that thing that's attached to her head to make it look like she has that hairstyle. So I actually think that's pretty cool. Now Lobelia, she's this well-known content creator. She has a huge following. Rebecca's totally jealous of this girl, and Lobelia is just there to sort of rub it in her face a little bit, and Shiki's not too happy about that. And you know, he kind of plays a little prank on her with his little gravity powers, and you know, we get that little tease that, you know, Mashima wants to show us, but he only shows a little tease of it. And you know, there she is on the floor, and she's like, I need to get Shiki because he's gonna make great content for me. I need to make more videos with this dude. And then we finally see my boy Plu. Now Plu is just OG goodness. I mean, you see the lines that are drawn around him, you know, showing that he's twitching and shaking, and that's just classic Plu. And you know, I thought he was like maybe a server at this point. Maybe he'll join the crew. But then you go flip to the next page, and it's all these little Plus, and I just couldn't help but crack up when I saw this. They're all just shaking and twitching, cooking and serving, and they're actually called Nikoras, I guess, or maybe that's a species name. But yeah, you know, you have the little Plus conversing with each other, and you know, Shiki's like, what are these creatures? Are they dogs? Are they what are these? And as they're having food together, Rebecca notices that Shiki's license is done. She gets an alert on her phone, and she starts printing it right there on the table. I guess her phone has like a laser 3D print function. It's pretty cool, but she just prints out a license for him, and now we get introduced to Shiki's license. And now his formal name as an adventurer is Shiki Granbell, being, you know, he didn't have a last name, but now he has this last name Granbell because she found him in Granbell Kingdom. So she decided to name him Shiki Granbell. And so now they're pondering, what should we do first? And Shiki's like, I know the perfect thing that'll make you have lots of views on your videos and get tons of subscribers. And she's like, okay, what? We're gonna go see Mother because no one's ever been there. And she's looking at him like, no one's ever thought of that, but you're right. If we see Mother, we're gonna get a ton of subscribers. Let's do it. And Happy's all in for it too. And Rebecca's like, yeah, it's cool. All we need is a ship. And then Shiki, I love this line. You know, he says, oh, we need a party. We need a warrior, a healer, and a mage. And she's looking at him like, what are you talking about? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a callback to Rave Master, because, you know, Rave Master had all these little classes, RPG elements to it a little bit. And I think that was just a line that maybe Haru did in Rave Master. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I read it, but I feel like that's a callback to Rave Master. If I'm wrong, I'm going to feel like an idiot. And they're talking about going to see the professor. And then, you know, we cut off to see Elsie and the space pirates. They're looking for Shiki. And it turns out that they're actually heading to the planet Norma, I think it was called. And what we see is that Norma has actually been perished a long time ago. So that's kind of a little ominous ending leading up to chapter 4. So now we reach the last chapter in volume 1, which is chapter 4, Norma. And here we have Shiki and Rebecca. They're flying into planet Norma. And Shiki's like, let me fly the ship. And she's like, no, you're crazy. Well, actually, maybe you should fly a ship. This will make a perfect video. Total newbie flying a ship. And he just crashes right into the planet, and she's freaking out. I can't believe you crashed a ship. He's like, yeah, I know, and it's my first time, but did you get a good video? He's like, hell yeah, I got it. And so here we actually get to see more of Shiki's gravity powers, where he's able to make the spaceship lighter when he touches it, so it makes it very easy for him to lift heavy objects like this. So as Shiki and Rebecca are walking through the planet, she's trying to explain to him what ether is, because, you know, they know that he has ether gear, but he doesn't have any clue what ether is or what ether gear even is. And so she's trying to explain that, no, ether is something that everybody has, and even my guns, they run off ether energy, but you're a little different. You have ether gear, which means ether flows through your body in a specific configuration that not everybody else has, which makes you a little special. So this isn't the first time Rebecca has been to this planet, because they're looking for the professor that helped fix up Happy, and she knows that there's this kingdom built underground. And so they go there looking for this professor, and Shiki is there playing around with the little x-ray goggles that he found. He sees Happy with a little machine inside of him, and then he looks over at Rebecca, and obviously he sees Rebecca. We don't get to see all of it, but you see just enough to know what's going on when he looks at Rebecca with those goggles. And then we finally see the professor they've been looking for. However, this professor is not the same professor that she recognizes. He has the same name, but for some reason he looks a lot younger, and this guy has no idea who any of these people are, not even Rebecca nor Happy. Now, the ending left me a little confused and also a little excited, because now for some reason we jumped 20,000 years into the future, and we're assuming that Rebecca and Shiki are long gone, because there's these weird dudes in space outfits. They're on maybe a moon or a planet of some sort. There's nothing left on this planet, but they find, I guess, the remains of two bodies, a man and a woman. And I guess they want us, or Mashima wants us to believe that this is the bodies of Shiki and Rebecca, because as they pick up the little cube that Rebecca is known to have, it has the words Eden's Zero, the title of the story. And we don't know what's going on, other than they don't know what this cube is. It has this wording on it. And as you see in the distance, you see this like asteroid or planet or something that's like sort of ripped in half. It's kind of weird how it looks, but it's kind of cool at the same time. And yeah, that, folks, is volume 1 of Eden Zero. I'm so happy that I finally dove into this series. I took the plunge, and we're finally getting to see what the story is all about. And, you know, I'm going to be doing this type of video for each volume, so I'm going to be taking my time. It takes a little bit longer to do these types of videos than it does for me to do regular review videos. But I like doing these types of videos because I get to show you guys all these different manga pages and all these scenes that I love so much. And I just want to share this whole story with all of you. So if you stuck this far into the video, I just personally want to say thank you for joining me on this journey. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. We're going to be bringing more Eden Zero content in the near future. With that being said, I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.